Start recording. So, the idea of this session was really just to look at some of my crazy experiments of fermentation. As you know, that food preserving is a really useful skill, and I've been doing stuff, I guess, for about 30 odd years. The last 20 years, I've hardly done any because I've been moving so much that I just am never around to actually do it. So this year has been really great because yeah, I can just play and experiment and do stuff that I just haven't done for a long time. So the one that I wanted to share with you is not just exclusively fermentation, but it's also to do with, well, it's just a resource that we have available to most of us here in Europe right now. So it's something you can do right now if you fancy it. And that's with this lovely stuff, dog rose, Rosa canina. So what you'll see, because it's native to the UK and Europe, is especially in the UK, many parks and rewilding stretches are planting this like crazy. So there is absolutely tons of this Rosa canina available. So what I've been doing with it is I've been first of all trying to make some fruit leathers. So I just got a few photographs that maybe I can quickly share with you. Share screen. There we go. So yeah, so these are the dog rose. And the first time I tried it, actually it was my housemate who she just took them and started boiling them together, and then just kind of left it there. When I came home, kitchen was a mess and all this was there. So right, okay, what do we do with it now? Which one of the problems with that is one of the great advantages of Rosa canina or dog rose or any kind of thing in this family is it's very high in vitamin C. But as you know, once you boil things like this, you'll destroy the vitamin C in it. So the second time I did it, which was just a few days ago, what we did instead of boiling it is literally just top and tail them. I take off the heads and any stalks and just put them in water, soak them overnight. Just before just before I went to bed, I just crushed them a little bit with a kind of potato masher, I guess, just to soften them up. And then the next morning, we started to try and sieve it through. So my first attempt is I tried to sieve it through an old curtain netting, but the pulp was basically just juice that I got from it, which is really delicious, but that's not exactly what I was looking for. I was looking more for pulp. So what I did is I mixed it all back again and watered it down a little bit more and then sieved it through just a kind of sieve, just an ordinary sieve. Now this doesn't get rid of the hairs, which is one of the challenges, so you have to do that later on. But anyway, you end up with this lovely, beautiful, gloopy, almost syrup, which I then poured into like a baking dish, which I lined with some kind of greaseproof paper, and I basically just put it onto a radiator. And it dried and dried and dried. It took about 3, 4, maybe 5 days, and then I ended up with this beautiful, dark, lovely fruit leather. The leftovers, however, so I still had all this pulp left. So what I did with that is I just mixed it with some more water, gave it a good stir, filtered it through the curtain netting, and ended up with this lovely vitamin C juice, which, okay, it's not going to last for too long, but in the fridge, maybe 3, 4 days, but it's a really amazing vitamin C blast. So then the next, and I didn't have a proper picture, but if you imagine all of this pulp that is left over, I then basically put all of that pulp into a fermenting jar, filled it with water. I did 2 experiments. One I did with sugar, one without sugar, and both of them actually started to ferment. So I'm not sure I actually needed to add sugar, because maybe there's enough sugar already in it. And as you know, with this kind of fermentation, what you'll look at, what the different bacteria that come in, basically take that sugar, break them down, and turn it into something like an alcohol, and then into a vinegar. So basically, what that made was the most delicious vinegar you could ever imagine. It's bettered by only one other experiment, which I'm going to show you in a moment. And that's it. It's so simple. I mean, you just put it in, so whatever pulp, whatever scraps you have of any fruit, you just put in a jar. You just need to sense about how much sugar it has, and does it have enough sugar to actually allow it to ferment on its own, or do I need to add sugar? It's exactly the same if you're making apple scrap vinegar, which is something I've been doing for years, for almost 20 years, making my own apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or technically called an apple scrap vinegar, because I just use the peelings and the cores to make the vinegar itself. So it doesn't matter what you use, you just need to sense, does it have enough of its own sugars in there to ferment down, or do I need to add my own sugars? And that's it. It's wow, mind-bogglingly simple. Why won't it let me stop sharing? Has it stopped sharing? I think you've stopped sharing. Yeah. Okay, for me it's still on my screen as if I am sharing. It's another one of these glitches with oh no, the symbol's gone away and we can't see it anymore. So okay, well I can't see you, so because it's still telling me that I'm sharing. Yeah, it's kind of stuck, unfortunately. Let's see, can I minimize? Can I do anything else? No, not really. If I start sharing my screen, will it free you up? I don't know. Okay, maybe try that. People. Cool. So yeah, so that's really easy. Yeah, so that's my, if you can see that, that's my, what's left of my scrap vinegar. And here's the next batch that I'm now making. In this particular case, what I've done is I've just used a bag to kind of put on top, and just blown up like a plastic bag to kind of keep all the stuff down. And yeah, I mean, you can see it's already bubbling, so it's on its way. Another, probably my most favorite one right now, is this horrible gloopy looking gunky stuff. Would anyone like to try and guess what that might be in there?
I think it's
does it involve chilies?
It doesn't involve chilies. No.
What? Rhubarb?
Rhubarb? No, it's not rhubarb.
Mm.
It's banana.
Ooh.
It's a banana vinegar. Oh my word.
Banana vinegar.
Whoa, that is just amazing. A sweet wow. I wish you were here to try this. This is incredible. So it's literally just bananas that were overripe. I haven't bought bananas more or less the whole year, but a few days ago I went and I totally forgot, because I haven't bought bananas for so long. I totally forgot. You don't put bananas at the bottom of a bag when you're then putting other stuff on top of it. So I had 20 totally, completely mushed bananas by the time I got home. So I thought, okay, let's do something interesting with it. And here it is. We just literally just put it in a jar. Don't seal it, just leave the seal off. Oops. Yeah, I still can't see you, by the way.
You're doing a good job. We didn't know.
Okay. But I did see a picture of you on the side, but even that's now just disappeared. So I'm just looking at me holding up the...
You're speaking into the abyss.
Yeah, okay. I just have to trust that you're still awake. So yeah, so you just literally just put banana into a jar, leave the lid off, maybe cover it in cloth if you prefer. I just put the lid on without securing it. I just secured it because I was walking with it, but otherwise you don't. And that's it. You've got banana vinegar, and it's insanely delicious. Insanely delicious. Here's another one. Now, anyone who sees this will probably say, so I can't actually see can actually see this because I can't see myself on the screen. But can people see what's in there?
It looks like maybe orange peels.
Orange peel, exactly. And you notice, cardinal sin, I'm making it in a plastic tub. Ooh. Not a good idea if you're making a vinegar for eating, but this is not for eating. What I'm doing with this is I'm turning into a vinegar, so quite literally just putting all the scraps in here and sealing it as much as I can and just letting it ferment down to being a vinegar. And then once I've done that, I can then filter it through and turn it into this lovely vinegar, which actually you can drink. It is actually quite tasty. Very, very, very interesting taste. But what I'm actually using this for is actually cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like a bioenzyme.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just a bioenzyme. So I'm using this for whatever, cleaning the house, cleaning the toilet, cleaning dishes, and so on and so forth. It's just super easy. You know, to be honest, I've been collecting and freezing these oranges for almost 2 years, not knowing why I was doing it, and then just started to do this. So this is like, you know, yeah, just again, just another really super, super, super easy one.
Can I ask a quick question about the
Go
one
for
with
it.
the oranges?
Yep.
So you just said you froze them, so you'd collected and frozen them. But if you were wanting to do it kind of over a short period of time, how fresh do they need to be? So, you know, if I eat like 3 oranges a day, so I'm thinking maybe in a week I have enough. Do I need to kind of be freezing them, or will they still be fresh enough to?
You could just start putting them in the water. So if you start the water and put them in, then they'll be kind of start, and you could keep adding to them, I imagine.
Well, the difficulty or the ideal condition to make it is if it's kind of airtight. So if you keep opening it and keep letting oxygen in, it's going to slow down the process. It's going to, so personally, I would say if you really want to do it really well, I would freeze them. So save up a week or a month's worth or whatever, and then do it all in one go.
Perfect. Okay.
But really seal your container airtight as possible, because otherwise you'll get this cam yeast on top, which is not a problem. You know, it just looks unsightly. If it looks like it's moldy, that's a very different story compared to if it's just cam yeast. Cam yeast is just this white stuff. In fact, I think there's even a little bit of cam yeast on this one.
Okay.
Starting to, but it's not a big deal. I mean, even if it's food stuff you're doing, cam yeast is not a problem. You can still eat it. It isn't ruined.
That's the one they call like a bloom Rakesh. That's like a kind of just like a white kind of thin layer on the top, right?
Exactly. So
Rakesh, I have a question.
it just doesn't preserve as long. It means that the process wasn't completely you didn't have completely the right type of bacterias in there. So yes. Yeah, go on. Question.
Yeah. So is there any like ratio that you follow, like, you know, a certain ratio of scraps and certain ratio of water or sugar, or how long do you have to keep it? Is it like, do you look for some signs? It's like 1 month, 2 month, or there's some formation or the color change?
I don't have any formula. I don't have any. I just look at things and I just see, you know. So for example, with my kombucha, when I'm making kombucha, I don't count how many days. I just smell it. Yeah, that smells ready, and it's done. With a vinegar, you can see it. You can see it fermenting away. Then you can maybe, one trick also is when you see things fermenting, you can optionally take out the stuff that's breaking down and take it out and allow it to continue fermenting without the actual veg scraps as well. That's something that quite a few people do. That's a useful trick. and then you're just allowing it to now brew and continue to acidify, if that's the correct term. And so you just wait until it's the right kind of taste, you know, what you want, and then bang, you're done. So no,
I think a
really
lot of
have no-
things are quite good to do that. I don't know, like what I do usually is when you've got like something inside, like for example with apple scrap vinegar, when the pieces fall to the bottom, then it's a good time to start taking them out so they don't start like breaking down in the liquid. So they've kind of given all the energy and everything they've got to give when they fall down, and then you can take them out, and then yeah, it continues the process.
Yep. So I'm still trying to see. It's really disconcerting having to just see my screen and not being able to see any of you.
Question, Rakesh.
Yeah. I also can't see the time, so I don't know how much time we've got left as well.
So it's about 10 past. We're finishing at past. So
a couple
yeah.
of minutes then. Okay, go for it. Two more questions.
I'm curious. So I'm curious about the sugar content, or is that not even necessary? I'm thinking about what fruit I can use to do similar to one of the berries that you did at the beginning. So does it have to be sweet, and how sweet are they? Or similar to any other fruit that you can think of, maybe a tropical fruit.
You can make scrap vinegar from almost any fruit. All fruits will have some sugar content, and therefore they will break down.
Okay.
And but the more sweet it is, the faster the fermentation will happen. And so yes, you can use almost any fruit. I think, you know, in your region, things like pineapple would be an amazing one. Pineapple
is, I think, quite a typical vinegar as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, almost any fruit you can use. So you know, obviously plum vinegar is really common. But yeah, any fruit will break down. Any fruit will break down.
And the other question was, I've always, whenever I try to do vinegars or something, they always say no, or like for example, kimchi, like say no exposure to oxygen, so like pressure it under. Is that something you worry about, especially the banana? I thought, did you just throw it, or did you make sure that the banana was submerged? I guess the banana doesn't float, but.
Well, in this case, you're not even adding water.
Oh, okay. The banana?
With a banana, it just turns to mush and it just turns to liquid.
Oh, you didn't add anything. Wow.
In this
Okay.
particular case, no. With the dog rose, yes. With the apple scrap vinegar, yes. In fact, more or less all the others. But with the banana, you don't even need to add water.
And it was completely sealed? So
in this
or
case, no,
it
I
doesn't
didn't.
matter.
In this case, I didn't seal it. I left it open. Well, I left the lid just loosely fitting, not
Okay.
secure, so that when it does start to ferment, it doesn't, you know, create pressure and explode the jar.
Interesting.
Yeah, the air.
That's what I was interested about, Rakesh, with the oranges. Is it a different process that it's not releasing gases?
Yeah, and that's why I put it in a plastic bottle, so that it can, the plastic just expands a little bit and lets it out.
Right. So it's kind of burping itself because it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's burping itself. Exactly. I've got it in 2-3 different containers now, and yeah, they all seem to work. They all seem to work fine. I brought this one up because the other ones you can't see through. You can't actually see what's in them, but they're, yeah, but this way works. The other ones, really quickly, maybe I can just quickly show you. This is one of my absolute favorites. We're a bit late in the year now to do this. Oops, that was sealed. But this is, if you can see that, is Prunus spinosa, which anyone who's ever eaten Prunus spinosa knows it is one of the most, what's the term? Astringent?
Astringent.
It's the most horrible thing you can imagine. But these, oh my God. Literally, all I did is I just waited until they were, you know, ripe. I just put them in salt water, so a salty brine, and then just leave it until, to be honest, until it looks ready. which I don't know how many days that is, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Wow, these are without question my favorite, absolute totally favorite, because it's one of these things that again is native here to the UK and Europe, and there's so much of it, it's so abundant that, but no one knows what to do with it. When you ask anyone, the only thing they know, oh, you make gin from it. Actually, no, technically you do not make gin. You take gin and you add this as a flavouring to the gin. You're not making gin from it. But that's the only thing everyone ever knows about what to do with these. But yet, this is so delicious, it's insane. I've probably still got about 30 jars at home. This is another, these are my cherries. So lacto fermented cherries, again, just so easy and so delicious. Obviously in this case I do actually add chilies into the mix a bit, so they are a little bit spicy. This is horseradish leaf. Again, something that most people don't know what to actually do with it. They don't ever eat the horseradish leaves, which are very delicious and very nutritious, but almost no one ever does anything with them. So any allotment you go to, you can get tons and tons and tons, and they'll be so happy that you take this away. Lacto ferment it, and wow, you've got a really nice, easy, simple green. This was kind of superfluous, meaning this is actually a green that in my garden just grows all year round. So I'm even eating this, I'm eating it in December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and back again. I'm eating it every single day of the year if I want to, because it just grows non-stop. So the purpose of fermenting it is not very smart. I don't actually need to do it, but I did it just because I wanted to.
Well, you're adding nutrition and you're adding prebiotics by preparing it that way.
Exactly. So, but what, and this particular one, what it has a really big stem, a really fat stem, which when you're cooking, sometimes I cook it, sometimes I don't. And so what I've done here, I don't know if you can see that, but I've, again, just lacto fermented those. I think I forgot to add some chilies though to this one.
What did you say was in there, Rakesh?
I think I forgot to add chilies. Yeah. So.
But what's in there?
It's just the stem from my my cabbage.
Cabbage stem, cool.
So it's quite tough. But once you lacto ferment it, it comes nice and soft. And because they're so salty, what I do is I don't cook with salt. When I finished cooking, I serve it on the plate, then I sprinkle this on top and then mix it in. So I'm not cooking these because that will destroy the probiotics, but I still get that kind of saltiness in my meal. And that's it. That's some of my crazy experiments, Pat. Oh, okay, one last one. And this is not technically a ferment. It's taking two things that are already fermented, so tofu and miso, and quite literally just pasting spreading miso on top of the actual tofu. You leave it for about a week, and it's like vegan. I gave it to someone recently, said, all right, close your eyes, try this. She had no idea what it was. She's like, that's cheese. No, it's not cheese. But it is, it's cheese. No, it really isn't cheese. I really am vegan, sorry to. And it's just miso and tofu. I'm not sure, it's actually 20 years ago, before internet, I was under the impression that what I was doing was I was fermenting the tofu in the miso. But now I have a feeling what I'm actually doing is I'm just marinating, because I don't think it's actually fermenting again, because they're already both fermented. So what I think I'm doing is I'm just fermenting I'm just marinating the tofu in in miso paste. And wow, so delicious. It's so easy and really delicious, but obviously none of these I'm growing. These are things that I just have actually bought or have purchased. So, but it's a nice, easy, crazy little experiment worth trying if you want to try and make your own very simple vegan cheese. There you go. I think I'm over time, aren't I?
That's cool. We've got time now for the checkout. Lovely. Thanks, Rakesh.
Okay. I'm going to leave so that I can then join because I really can't see anything.
Yeah, for sure. Do it, because otherwise it's too weird for you. Yeah.
And I don't, oh, there's an end meeting button. Let's see, if I click on this, hopefully it will allow me to pass over to someone else. Yes.
Yeah, you've made me co-host, I think.
Leave meeting. All right, so yeah, so I can leave, assign and leave. All right, I'll be back in a sec.
Cool. Okay. Okay, lovely. So yeah, we can go into the checkout now. I'm just going to post in the chat. We have a sign-up sheet. So yeah, it will be nice if we go around and can just share how you're feeling at the end of this event. And also, yeah, if you have any requests or any offers for the next event, which will be again on the 22nd of January. So yeah, feel free to invite other people. And yeah, think about if there's anything that you would like us to talk about, any questions, any topics, or if there's something you'd like to offer. Yeah, I think Marta has something up her sleeve for next month, maybe. Yeah, maybe Kai. I don't know if she knows she's not. Yeah, Kai's still here. So yeah, that will be just a nice chance to, yeah, say a few words about how you're doing and any offers or requests. So going round, let's start with Shilpa, followed by Paula.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for this session, and it was really interesting to see a lot of fermenting thing, which is most important, interesting one for me because that's something I'm always thinking of doing, and I don't know, I'm always worried, scared, or it might get ruined, or is it healthy, is it what happens if I consume some stupid bacteria or something like that, right? So but now looking at how Rakesh is doing so coolly, and it also shows how experienced he is, and he knows a lot of things, and I'm just just 0.1%. So it's for me very motivating. And about me sharing right now, I don't know, I feel like I'm just learning. So if there's anything that I've learned something in the last next few weeks, I will definitely appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Can I maybe just add a little health and safety
Yeah.
to that? So the only two ways that things can go wrong. One is if you do food preservation in oil, you need to be very careful because that potentially, I think, is it botulism? There's a particular set of
Yeah.
bacteria that can be bred in very, 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 very unusual circumstances, but there's a possibility.
Yeah,
So
when it's very alkaline.
very careful with fermenting or preserving in oils. And the other thing is if it goes moldy. If it goes moldy, hey, well, just eat whatever you can and throw the rest away. Just scrape off the mold, eat it quickly, and hey, no problem, no harm done. But don't keep it. Don't let it preserve. The rest, I don't. Yeah, the rest is easy. Just
Yeah. Let your senses guide you. If it smells like really horrible, if you taste a bit and it tastes really horrible, then yeah, like compost it. But if it tastes like pleasantly funky or smells pleasantly funky, then you're in the right direction, I think.
That mold, sorry, one last question. That mold, can we use it for composting, or will it cause any, ruin the compost? The mold from the fermenting, if it goes bad, or in the food, if it goes bad, in the oil.
I compost it. I think it's fine.
Thanks.
I've almost never had mold, so I can't tell you. Yeah, no experience of molding ferments. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I had some experience with it of like leaving it too long in a warm place and it wasn't happy. So yeah, you just compost it and it's fine. I didn't have any problems after composting it. But generally, yeah, if you've got like the white bloom on the top, like Rakesh was showing, it's cool. But if it's like blue or black or furry, or it's got like little strands going down inside, it's especially if there are strands going inside. It's not really a good sign. But yeah, it's pretty unusual. You have to like leave it in really bad conditions.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so Paula and then Kai.
Hi, it's Paula. Yeah, the only fermentation I've done, it all went mouldy within days. So I obviously did something very wrong. I think it was mainly because I started doing it late at night. Not a good time to do anything that you have to be careful with. I've really enjoyed it. I love the puppets. We have a little growers group that comes to our permaculture site once a week. So it might be something we can think about incorporating. And yeah, the fermentation. Yeah, I'm making myrtle jam at the moment because I found a myrtle bush. And tomorrow I'm going to go and pick some more. It's a tiny bush, but it's got so much on it. It was amazing. Yeah, and I'm going to try and kind of make vinegar with those. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Thank you.
Get me a cutting.
Oh yeah, I mean it's in South London.
Yeah, South
Union Street. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get you a cutting.
I'll get a visa. I'll be allowed over to South London. No problem.
I thought that's where you were from.
No, I'm east.
Oh, okay. Oh, same as me. Okay. When I go and get one for myself, it's a garden I work in. I'll get you a cutting as well.
Amazing. Love it.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Lovely. Thanks, Paula. So Kai followed by Marta.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. I've done a little fermenting myself, but not as bravely as Rakesh does it. And I learned something actually, same as yeah, Shilpa, I think it was. It gives you this kind of feeling, oh, why not try it? And don't be so scared, you know, just go for it. So that was really nice. And yeah, we'll have to talk about maybe me doing a session in January. I'll talk about that later. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.
Nice. Yeah, Kai has a very nice offer. She's got lots of recipes to do with homemade healthcare and house cleaning products. So that will be lovely. I look forward to that in January. So Marta next, followed by Mali.
Yes, I also enjoyed very much the different sessions. I'm actually really excited about the puppets. I'm trying to find ways in which I can stay connected with my nibblings because they're really the other side of the country, and they, you know, so I'm gonna try that. Very excited to try some of the things with the vinegar. We get certain seasons here where it's like mango season or tuna or cactus fruit season, so just get like a lot of fruit, and so different ways of preserving is something I'm constantly looking for, so excited to try that.
You're like, what are these rose hips you're talking about? I've just got mangoes. Like, what can I do? Will it work with mangoes? Sorry, no rose hips. And that's such a cute word. What's this word? Nibblings, Marta.
It's just a gender inclusive term for your, I guess, nephews and nieces.
Oh,
yes.
I've never heard that before. That's so sweet.
I looked up I thought it was a spelling mistake, or let me just try in Google, and then I immediately looked up and I was like, oh, okay, that's a new word that I learned today. Thanks, Martha.
Yeah, sure.
Love it.
Nice. So Mali followed by Mandy.
Oopsie, sorry. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think everything that was shared, especially also the table puppet show, I really already was imagining the vegan permaculture course with puppets in the screen. So it could be really nice, and also just for myself to apply this kind of fun things, fun ways of in education with youth, even if you're not 8 years old, but already 20 years older. I think it can be applied in any way, any age. And also, I'm definitely going to contact you, Mandy, or what was his name, Eddie. He's not here anymore, I think. about the jóvenes in Permacultura, because yeah, I'm traveling at the moment, or I'm about to travel again, and hopefully also to Europe. And it sounds really interesting, your project. So I'm really happy to discover about you. And yeah, fermentation, I won't be able to do much at the moment when I'm traveling, but it's super interesting. I haven't done it before, so yeah, I'm really psyched to do it at some point when I'm more stable. And maybe, I also, regarding that, if I'm more stable, I would be able to maybe share something about dragon dreaming, or I don't know, it's not a very practical skill. It might apply some more time to explain it, but yeah, I'm always happy to talk about dragon dreaming, or the global eco village network, where I'm active in a youth kind of circle from the Netherlands, but also I can talk a bit more about the more global movement. But it's not that practical, maybe, but if you're interested, I can always talk about that.
Yeah, those things would be cool. They're like, yeah, I think practical in their own way. So yeah, that would be really nice. Dragon dreaming's amazing subject.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use dragon dreaming a lot, so it's absolutely. I even bring it into the permaculture course. So
Nice.
so absolutely, it's totally appropriate.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
And it would be lovely to see, yeah, your experience and your way of using it as well, and to look at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've put the
Gen-
link in the
Maybe
chat.
some next gen stories or something,
Mhm.
some interesting things that are happening in next gen, or
Yeah.
that'd be amazing too.
Nice.
Cool. I'll be speaking to
Cool.
Siska, by the way, tomorrow.
Perfect. Right. Nice. The connections. Such a small world, right? Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, Molly. So Mandy and then Rakesh.
Yeah, just thanks so much. It was just lovely what you're doing here. It's really great and inspiring. I'm watching it on the outside for a long time, but it's really nice. Thanks for inviting us in. And I see a lot of potential for this. I'm a little distracted right now by other things, but I'd love to keep following as time allows. And I think the connection between Next Gen and some of these other youth groups would be great, because I'm on the Next Gen WhatsApp group and I'm just seeing this stuff going, and I'm like, wow, this is great. So, yeah, all this weaving that Rakesh does so nicely. It's just lovely. So I really appreciate it. And I did a little fermenting this year. I did some peppers, inspired by a couple of friends, and Rakesh included in that. And it came out so good with, we have figs and persimmons here. And I did them with some really spicy peppers in the ferment, and they came out really good. And then I also did olives with ferment this year, which I'd never fermented them before, and they're also coming out really nice. So I'm just breaking into the fermenting after just doing, kombucha and all that stuff. I'm really enjoying it. I have never done bananas. I just want to try that right away. Thank you very much. And I'm so sorry I was late, Sophie. I tried to get in. I didn't have it set up right. My computer wasn't working. So I missed the introductions, but I bet you're just a lovely group of people. Thank you so much for doing this. I'll pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, pleasure having you here. Thank you, Mandy. Lovely. Rakesh.
Great. Yeah, thanks, Mandy and Eddie, for coming and presenting, and all the other presenters. Really lovely to hear all your ideas and share. Yeah, this is what it's all about, just sharing. By the way, I found some olives in someone's front garden, and I picked a dozen or so, and I just fermented them, and wow. In London, can you believe it? Can you believe it? London olives. And yeah, I mean, there's not so much flesh, but hey, it's for free olives, why not? So yeah, it's just great to hear from everyone. Really, every time we do this, there's just so many amazing things that we between us know about, and it's just really beautiful to see everyone just share it. And it's really great that I'm doing less and less sessions during this, so I can just let everyone else just share their magic, and that's just really, really wonderful. That's what it's all about. So thank you all very much. And don't forget, on the 28th, we have a reggae session, an online reggae party. And then on the 30th, for those who have studied with me, which I believe is everyone here, we have a roots and permaculture reggae session. And the invitation is for the first hour, or well, for the first 3 hours, it's going to be a mix of everyone introduces themselves, but with a reggae tune. So they have to, everyone's got 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, you can either spend it 4 minutes talking about yourself and then play 1 minute of a tune, or you could talk about yourself for 30 seconds and then play 4.5 minutes of a reggae tune. And if you don't know a reggae tune that kind of expresses who you are, ask me. I'll find something for you. I'll find something that's really appropriate. For those of who I know, I can, don't worry, I know my way around. So, and then however much time we have left in the 3 hours, then we'll get whoever wants to kind of laptop DJ. There's time for some laptop DJs to play some music. And then the real vinyl junkies will come out. The vinyl DJs will come out till whatever, 12, 1 o'clock. Who cares? Whenever. It will just go on till whenever. So, and we'll have some little breakout rooms as well, so you can just go and talk to each other if you want. So that's an invitation for everyone who's part of the Roots and Permaculture family. So hope to see all of you there. So there's a registration if you can't find the registration, where to put your details of and what tune you would like us to play. So yeah, you can present the tune and we will find it for you, and Roy will play it. Apparently he's got some Spotify or something that you can play any tune. So yeah, I'll see you there, hopefully. So,
Rakesh, I have a question.
Mhm.
I'm not much into reggae music. I'm into just rock and metal. But the only reggae music I have heard is Bob Marley's,
That's
most
fine.
of his song. Is it okay to join it? I just want to just join in and see people and
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you have a particular favorite Bob Marley song, that's perfect.
yeah, of
Just
course, yeah.
say it. Or if you want me to pick one for you, I can also pick one for
Yeah,
you.
I know a few Bob Marley songs, so
Brilliant.
yeah, I love them. Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Brilliant. Though I must admit, some people's choice of music, because Bob Dylan is not a reggae artist.
Bob Dylan is not a reggae artist.
Sorry to say, but yeah, but one person said, yeah, I want a Bob Dylan. I like Bob Dylan. It's not reggae though. Someone asked for Thievery Corporation, which is really, really, really borderline reggae. It's borderline, but okay, I'm going to let that one pass. Someone was asking for a jungle tune. Okay, especially given that it's remixed a reggae tune. Okay, maybe I'll let that one pass. But so it's going to be really interesting to see what else people come up with, what they consider to be reggae. But
maybe Bob Dylan started making reggae. Have you thought about that? Maybe he's reimagined himself.
was Bob Dylan? No. Maybe it's all folk music. Reggae is folk music, so why not? So you were about to say something, Paula?
No, I was going to say I went for Amy Winehouse, but by the Jolly Boys, so it's a kind of combination. My favourite song and one of my favourite bands.
Okay.
And I reckon they're reggae.
I don't actually know them, so
they're in their 70s. They're from Jamaica.
Yeah, they sound a bit more mento than reggae, but okay, I'm going to let that pass.
I've put it on the list, and it's very good.
Yeah. Something about.
And what about? Sorry.
Okay, yeah, go on, Marley.
What about Matis Yao? Would that count as a reggae hip hop artist?
Is this the Israeli?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Orthodox.
I know
reggae.
about him, but I don't know any of his material.
Well, then we'll get to know about him.
Yeah, we can try. But anyway, wonderful. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And maybe if this is something that people are interested in, we could do one of the things that I used to do in the past, face to face, is what we call a record club, where we used to call the whole session Step It Up. So the first hour, I would get a famous reggae artist to come and sit down and just do a little talk about something. So yeah, so I'd get, I don't know, Jashaka or Twinkle Brothers or someone to just do us a favor and just come and talk. Then we do the record club part, where everyone puts their name on a list who wants to play a tune. And when your name is at the top of the list, you put one tune on, you take your name off, so the next person moves up. You have to go and find the next person, make sure they play their tune, and so on and so forth. So you're constantly talking to each other. And when you played your tune, you put your name at the bottom again. So if there's 3 people, you play every 3rd tune. If there's 20 people on that list, you play a tune every 20 turns, and you just get the most crazy, mad, eclectic mix of music. And people always try and it's not danceable. It's not dance because they're not. But the idea is this is social. So at the end of that, after 2-3 hours of that, then I take over as a DJ, and then we dance till 4 o'clock in the morning. And these were amazing times. These are the kind of sessions I used to do here in London, and I would really love to do something like that again, because it really connects people, and you really get to see. I had one really, if I can just indulge, one really amazing moment where one person put on this tune. He said, "This is the most amazing, and no one's ever heard of this artist. She is amazing. You've got to hear this." And he put it on, and I said, "You know who that is?" He said, "No, but she's amazing. I found she's standing just over there. That's her tune." He's like, "What?" I mean, he thought he'd found someone just really obscure and like from the middle of no, actually, it's one of my friends. So yeah, it's just this really beautiful connection that you make between people, and in my case through reggae. And one last thing, if you haven't seen it already, there's a series of programs on television called Small Acts. If you want to find out why I have been so angry most of my life, and the kind of pressures that I've been under, the things that have molded me into being who I am, this series of films really shows it perfectly. And the second one is called Lovers Rock, and it's about me. I know every single one of those characters. I can be many of those characters. I've been many of those characters. It's a really amazing series. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, yeah, take a look. Small Acts. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to shut up.
Sorry, Rakesh, could you just say the title of the second series again? I didn't hear that well.
It's called Small Acts.
Yeah.
And the second one is just called Lovers Rock.
Lovers Rock. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a
Was that
style
on the BBC, Rakesh?
It's from the BBC, so I think you can find it on Netflix as well, someone said. Not that I know how Netflix works, but you can also download it illegally from a torrent site. I don't have a television, so I don't use BBC iPlayer. But anyway, you can find it. Really, really, really worth watching. Several people have come to me to say, "Wow, now I get it." Having heard some of the stories that I've told about my education, about my upbringing, they say, "Right, now we get it. Now we understand." So yeah, it's a really, really incredible series. Anyway, that's it. That's me. I'm done.
Lovely. Well, yeah, thank you, everyone. It was a really beautiful evening. A lot of variety, a lot of smiling, a lot of good energy. So yeah, thank you all for being here. And yeah, if you've got any offers, put them on the list for next month. And yeah, see you at the reggae party. See you at the next Roots and Resilience. Yeah.
And if there's something you want us to do, if there's a particular subject you want me to cover, for example, if it's not being done on one of the courses, or if the course is finished and there's something that you wanted more of, then absolutely just get in touch. Whether we do it here in the Roots and Resilience, which is public, or whether we do it in the Roots and Permaculture Learning Day, which is just for my students, where we go into much more detail. Every session is about 40 minutes. 40-45 minutes, so we can really cover subjects in much more detail. So wherever, yeah, yeah.
And that will
So
be on
if
the
there is
12th
something,
of January.
if there is something, just reach out, ask us, because that's, you know, we're all really happy to share this kind of stuff. So if you didn't get it on the course, just ask for it, and we'll cover it again, no problem. Wonderful. So thank you all very much. I think time to say goodbye. Yeah. So lots of love, everyone.
Lots of love. Take
you.
care. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was
Bye.
great.
Lovely.
And I'll send you some jam if it turns out okay, Rakesh.
All right.
It tastes good
Ferments
so
of
far.
banana.
Not quite ready.
Cool. I'll